Yeah, man, how you doing? You good? I know you like that.
What's up, Nosey? We outside. Where you at? Where you at?
See the girls in the club, they getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks all want
I see y'all pulling up. What's up, Nosey? Welcome back. It's time to be nosy. Hey, listen, we don't own none of these rights to none of this song. This is my good brother Mace, because I'm coming back out of mental health crisis. Okay? Talk to me. Where you at? What's up, Kiya? Hey. What's up, cuz? Ew. Where you at? What's up, YouTube? What's up, Facebook? We outside. Hold on. I got another song that speaks to what is going on today. Man, welcome. First, welcome to Time to Be Nosy. I'm your host, T. Pearson, founder of the Team Nosies, team originator, okay? And also founder of the TPX, also known as the T. Pearson Experience. I welcome y'all to the couch, to the conversation. We got a dope-ass show for you. A dope-ass show, and I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Real quick, though, I need y'all to hit that share button, because a nosy might have forgot to tune in. They might have forgot, and we need them to know that we is outside, okay? Here's another song that speaks to my mood. I just need y'all to vibe. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Drop in my comments. Let me know who here. I appreciate y'all. Let's vibe. Where you at? Aha!
In the courtroom, fighting in the boardroom, trying to feed your family, kicked out underneath you.
God's able.
God is more than
What's up, Cassandra? What's up with you, niece? What's up? What's up with you? What's up, MJ? We outside. What's up, Ann? We outside. We appreciate you. He's still working miracles.
You still make me wait. Some others say that there ain't no way. If you know this is true.
If you do so much, can't nobody sing it like me. Can't nobody say it like me. You don't know. It's my testimony. Can't nobody. He gave me the victory, and now I got testimony. That's it. That's all I'm gonna give y'all. They might have muted it. If you watching the playback and you ain't hear that, that was Anthony Brown in Group Therapy singing Testimony, because they probably muted me. But listen, I see y'all is outside. What's up, y'all? What's up, Nicole? What's up, Hart? I see y'all. Listen, I can't see the comments for the Facebook folks unless you have enabled the permission for StreamYard to list your name. So on my side, it says Facebook user. So if you're on Facebook and you did not authorize them to put your name and your profile up, just drop your name for me when you do your comments so I can make sure I shout you out without having to leave the screen and get to where you are. So, man, I just want to say thank you for tuning in today. We are here for Time to Be Nosy. Y'all see that arm over there? I got a special guest here with me. But I wanted to take this time, man, just to get some quick announcements, and then we're going to get into today's conversation. And thank you again for tuning in. As always, though, I'm going to need y'all to hit that share button. Let me put that down there for y'all to remember. So that, because a nosy might have forgot to tune in. So I've been on this little venture, right, of writing curriculum and personalized curriculum, as well as different lessons plans, right? And so I figured out that that's my little niche. Okay, so we are offering new services. If you are interested in new curriculum, are you a teacher? Are you a support group leader? Are you a youth group leader and you need some curriculum that is fun and engaging and comes from my heart? Okay, my heart, real personalized. Get at me. Let's talk about it. Let's chat about it. Also, listen, I got a new support group coming up, man. So it is called Thriving Beyond Trauma, Embracing Resilience and Renewal. It's going to be a group chat, man. It's going to be 2 times a week. We're going to meet virtually, And it's for folks that's overcoming trauma and dealing with mental health while life be lifing. Because we know life be lifing. So if you're interested, once again, we're going to start September the 1st in honor of National Drug and Alcohol Addiction Recovery Month, because y'all know I'm almost 7 years clean. Where them hands at? Period. 7 years clean in November, thank God. And also National Suicide Prevention Awareness. You know I'm a 7-time battler. And so on September the 1st, I will be starting that group chat. So if you're interested, get at me, DM me, and let's chat. You feel me? Because it's life is life, man. And because life be life, and I realize that I can't be the only one in struggle, right? In struggle mode. And so in true transparency of just how I operate, right? You guys know I like to share my story. I like to share my trauma and my journey to healing. Not for anything but to help somebody else heal. That's it. So I want to say something that I say all the time. I say that I believe I was born to suffer so that I can serve. Let me break that down, because I think some folks have some misconceptions of really what I mean by it. And I even had to break it down today at the chiropractor's office to the staff there. Shout out if y'all watching. So when I say that to mean that is the only way that I can justify to myself, right? To myself, that gives me a better understanding of what my purpose in life is. I'm not saying that I enjoy the suffering, because the fuck I don't. Speaking of fuck, hashtag warning, drama-free zone. Team Nosey, use your discretion, keep your peace intact. This is a conversation. We want to converse with you about marriage and mental health. But I realized that I had to break that down, because some people don't really quite understand what I mean when I say that. So when I say that feel like I was born to suffer so that I can serve, I simply mean that all of the suffering that I went through, I feel like I had to go through according to God's plan, so that I can help others that are suffering, will suffer, or have suffered in the same plights, if you will, be able to heal or come up with a plan for healing, or just, if nothing else, to let them know that it's okay to not be okay. And that we have a village of nosies that can help out if needed. So that's what I mean when I say I feel like I was born to suffer so that I can serve. That simply means I'm using my suffering that God has put on me as a way to help others heal. And as a way for me to share my trauma with others, so that they can kind of get some tips in it. And real shit, so I can get tips back, because I'm not a professional. I'm just a professional on the 3rd floor. The mental health ward. But nonetheless, we appreciate you. Now, if somebody you know, or if you are struggling at any point through this conversation, I want you to protect your peace. I want you to click off, and I want you to reach out to a mental health professional. We actually have Nicole on now. Nicole Fogg, she has 904 Wellness. She's a therapist. Nicole, if you could drop your information in the link, we'll appreciate it. And if you guys need some clinical support, listen, she taking clients. She got you. Also, you can text 988, which is the Suicide and Crisis Help Lifeline. I've talked about it many times because I use it myself. And the folks there, for the most part, there's some of them that shouldn't have came to fuck to work that day. But most of them are very friendly and hands-on with being able to assist you when you're there. What's up, JP? We got JP in the building. Let me see who we got right here. Who that, Charlita? Okay, Nicole, here we go. Nicole Fogg said, makes sense. You got to justify the pain as a part of a larger purpose. Absolutely. So by no means, I feel like, if we are, and I'm a Christian, let me join by saying that. So I believe that because I'm supposed to be made in God's image, and I'm supposed to be Christ-like, then if he suffered and was able to help people, and he hung out with all of them, all of the ballers, JC was walking with them, the prostitutes too. And I've had definitely done a lot of work with the sex work industry, those that voluntarily are in it and those that have been forced coerced or trapped into it. So I ain't Jesus by no means, nowhere near a perfect Christian at all, but I do believe that my healing and my day-to-day journey comes from the man above. And so I just want to say I honor that. All right. So what's up? We got somebody else. Hey. Y'all is outside. Y'all are outside. We appreciate y'all. And the damn dog trying to get over the barrier. Get down, buddy. We are on live. Back up, buddy. They don't want to see you. We got a new dog, y'all. We adopted a new dog. So today is our show. So my wife and I have a lot of conversations, right? We believe in pillow talk. We have a lot of conversations throughout the day because communication is key for us. Look at the damn dog that jumped over the barrier. He was so pressed. We put a barrier up. This boy done jumped over the thing. Hold on, y'all. Lonnie! That boy that came. Buddy, what you want to be on TV? Our new dog is okay. He's like, I want to be on TV, but we'll show y'all him later. But today we're going to talk about some of the conversation that my wife and I have as it relates to mental health and marriage. So for folks that's just tuning in, welcome to Time to Be Nosy. I'm your host, T. Pearson. Listen, we're going to talk about my mental health manic episode that I just had about a month ago, right? But before we do that, I gotta bring my sexy wife on. Hold on, let me find a song for my sexy wife, y'all. Why I'm doing that, because there is a delay. I need y'all to start dropping some love for my beautiful wife. Y'all know her as Kiya G, also known as Mrs. TPX, also known as Miss Ditz, because she's the founder and the creator of Don't Ignore the Scars LLC, where they help folks in adolescents that are dealing with self-injury and self-harm. He done came all the way up in wifey face. And so I need y'all to just drop some love. Hold on, let me find my baby a song. This is my song for my baby. This is my song for my baby, y'all. Nikki Giovanni said, we are not lovers because of the love we make, but the love we have. We are not friends because of the laughs we spend, but the tears we save. If y'all can help me welcome my wife to the screen, Miss Kiya G, where you at, baby? I used to think that I was a guy. Now that I'm on, I'm gonna call Lonnie and tell her to come get the dog. Thank you. And I won't waste my time trying to figure out. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. While I call Princess and tell her to come get our lovely. Y'all like, dang, is this Candid Convo? No, this ain't Candid Convo, but we here. It's possible. It might possibly be. What's up, Chris? What's up, Chris JP? What's up with you? Great P said, this is amazing. I love what you're doing, sis. Bringing awareness and resources for the silent ones. Absolutely. Because somebody got to do it. You know what I'm saying? Cassandra said, what's up, son? What's up, wifey? You know, Kenyatta jumped in there. What's up? We got some love from Facebook. Hey, guys. Okay, I had to take care of some business. Hey, Nicole say, hey, Key. Hi. Hey, Key. Y'all know me. I have to have a little bit of wine. Yes. This is after work. What you say, looking good? You know, we try. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was like, so we're going to have some wine, right? While we talk about all this, you know, this stuff. We are. And I know you didn't say a month ago. Well, how long was it? That was a couple weeks ago. Oh, about not a month ago. See what I'm saying? That's one of my other strategies. Oops, my bad. Laugh at my pain. Lonnie, can I get my charger too? Laugh at my pain. Laugh at my pain. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It was crazy how we literally were sitting up watching, you know, T loves these crime shows, watching these crime documentaries, whatever. And they say, hey, Mom. Hi, how are you? Hey. And so then I think what happened was, I think I was saying I was proud of you, or I think I was giving you some type of compliment about where you are now versus where you were. Mm-hmm. And then we started saying, well, like, darn, I bet there's other people struggling with this. And we started talking about, sorry for the feedback, guys. But then we started talking about, thank you. Sorry. Then we started talking about what we had gone through, just processing it, right? Mm-hmm.
And while we were processing it, we were like, sorry guys, that's just Lonnie trying to get the dog out. While we were processing it, we were like, geez, okay, other people could probably benefit from us talking about this. And so T was like, you know what, like we could do like a little show on this. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Right.
But definitely there are a lot of highs and lows, I probably would say, when it comes to mental health and marriage. And I am so grateful that you put this show together today, T, so that we can really talk about it in real time. One thing that you guys will always get from us, whether it's on our personal platforms or on our business platforms, is that you're always going to get full transparency and honesty. We absolutely have nothing to hide. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm so glad.
She thought those were sound effects.
Thank you. You know what? Right. That could work. That could work, Kiya. Oh my gosh. So shout out to the Heart of Miss V and Flights and
We got some
Stilettos.
information coming. Y'all stay tuned for that.
Kenyatta Gray, who is in the house. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you.
So,
Yeah,
babe,
let's get into it.
Lonnie, let me get some air, please. So I brought you on the show. That look real fucking fluffy. Hold on, let me sit up because
I think
like
you
that.
look fine.
There
I
we
mean,
go.
I look a little dark since you put the laptop down, but that's fine.
You want me to cut you up? Let me see.
No,
Sorry, y'all.
We don't have to do all that. That's absolutely.
I want my
fine.
wife comfortable. Is that comfortable?
I'm absolutely fine.
Okay.
I'm absolutely fine.
Perfect.
Meanwhile, Lonnie's in the back.
You're not gonna get that much air.
Okay, just close it back, sweetie. It's fine. Your mother will live.
It's okay.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll turn it over.
No, it's fine.
It's okay, Lonnie.
So,
It's definitely candid convos.
It very much has changed the Jack.
Yeah, I definitely believe that.
I didn't turn it on, it's on.
So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we apologize for some of the technical difficulties that we're having, but it's live.
It's live.
And that's what happens when you're live.
So-
When you're live, shit happens. Oops, sorry, can I say shit?
You can say shit. We
Shit
can say
happens
shit
when
over
it's
there.
live. That's
can
nothing.
say
That's
shit.
nothing compared to Candid Convos.
Right.
We had all kinds of
I
stuff.
wanted to share with them a little video first.
Okay, we can share.
That was me and my wife, man. Walking into our marriage, that was symbolic for me as us walking hand in hand into our journey as wives, right? Because if you guys have ever watched any of the other shows, head over to Candid Convos with T and Kiya if you haven't. But we have talked extensively about the things that have been sacrificed.
Yeah.
Right? Voluntarily or involuntarily, meaning somebody else initiated,
Yeah.
because of our love, because of our joy, because of our relationship, and
Yeah.
because of our union. And so we wanted to have a show. It's hard to say we wanted to have a show because we really didn't plan to have a show. We had a conversation that led to, we should let folks know. I should let the Noseys know.
Yeah.
And so my wife agreed to sit down with me to have that conversation. And so for that, I'm forever grateful to you, wife.
course.
And you guys pulled up on us. And so thank you for that as well. So Kiya, I wanted to get into just some quick conversation for one about this quote, right? This quote is how I started my vows. And so when we got married, we were very intentional about our vows. We decided that we were going to write our own, and we didn't see it. We didn't see each other's vows until time to say them, right?
Yeah.
And so we actually had a very private ceremony here in our home, our new home, with our children, our photographer. Shout out to my good sis Ann, that was our officiant. She went and got it just for us, so don't be trying to ask her to do nothing. Okay. And we also had a great singer who came over and to bless us with her voice. That was my surprise to my wife, J. Ari. We appreciate you so much. Go follow her. She's dope.
Yeah, she is amazing.
But in that process of us writing our vows, I started my vows off with this quote. I'll read it again. We are not lovers because of the love we make, but the love we have.
Yes.
We are not
Love it.
friends because of the laughs we spend, but the tears we save.
Yes.
And I started my vows with that because that speaks to who we are.
Yeah.
As friends, then met wives.
Yeah.
Right? We had a friendship first, and that friendship transitioned to wifehood.
Yeah, because I didn't like you, but go ahead.
I ain't like you either. Y'all laughing,
She
but
was
real
so
shit.
irritated.
And she was so thought she was my boss, and bitch, you're not. Excuse me.
She was so extra.
You know I'm 2 days off my mental health.
You're
Don't do too much.
You Sagittarius.
Right? She calls me a Sagittarius.
Yeah,
She's a
I
Taurus.
got that from Zeta.
That's some shit.
I got that from Zeta.
So Kiya, right? We got all kinds of purrs. So Kiya, question for you.
Oh, okay.
What did you think about that vow? Well, when I started my vows with that, because you're a poet.
Yeah.
And so
am I?
You publish.
I don't know.
Published
I do a
poet.
little something else.
Published poet. Okay.
I
But what did you
don't
think?
know about all of that.
Because you kind of, when I watched you when I started, your face kind of did something. What was your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I'm a Nikki Giovanni fan. Let me just say that. But I think about, when I hear that, I think about the opposite of us romanticizing about what a relationship should be. You know, I think about us seriously. I mean, and that's kind of part of who Nikki Giovanni was anyhow, but I think about finally someone shedding light on what a healthy marriage looks like and a healthy relationship. And so it's not all beautiful all the time. It's not like The Young and the Restless and The Bold and Beautiful, where it's like you just embrace each other and you fall into each other's arms, or any of the videos where you're walking around a house in your fur heels all day cooking dinner and shit like that. No, when I think about the tears that we save, I think about all of those experiences, all of the lows and everything in between, shaping us into these resilient partners that we are. So I definitely believe, I love the save the tears part. That right there is just profound to me, because it adds value to your journey, if that makes sense.
I appreciate that. And so my intention when I put it in was similar to yours, but also to highlight that we like to laugh.
Yes.
Right?
A lot.
We goofy as shit in real life.
A lot.
But also that I know that when I was going through my first healing journey, right, about 3 years ago, I couldn't stop crying.
Yes.
It was that pure, you ain't gotta say it like that.
I'm sorry.
You ain't gotta say it like that.
I'm sorry.
You lucky I can't kick you off. We in the same screen. But I remember I couldn't stop crying felt like forever.
But it was like sporadic. Like, I don't want you guys to think like she just cried for like 2 weeks straight. No, it would be like Monday, she cried 3 times at 3 different times of the day. And then by Wednesday, maybe again 2 times while she's cooking or while she's in the bathroom.
Oh, you ain't got to say all that.
No, I'm just saying.
You don't need to be that damn nosy. Anyhow, like I was saying, but I remember a time where I couldn't stop crying. And you did something very symbolic to me that I still remember. You gave me, you remember what you gave me?
No.
Your grandmother's Bible.
Oh, wow. The one that just has all the Psalms in it.
Yep, the Psalms.
Y'all
I know the little gold Bible
gold.
that be about that big and it just has the book of Psalms in it. And I remember I couldn't stop crying, and Kiya says, I don't know why I'm giving this to you, but I feel like I'm supposed to. And you handed me your grandmother's Bible.
I do remember that now.
You started to play Yolanda's Adams. I Need to Hear From You. I think that's the song. But she started to tap into my spirituality because she knew that was my healing point. And so I thank you.
Oh, babe.
Right? For that. And we were dating. She wasn't even my wife then. And so when I started to write my vows, I had to put that in there because she had helped me save some tears. And so I wanted to start our vow with that. But then you said something when I think you read your vows first.
Yes.
Right?
All right.
You read your vows first. And so
Yeah.
what we did was we took some segments of our vows to say real quick. And then we're going to get into our conversation about my recent Bipolar Manic episode and some questions for Kiya, some questions for me, some questions for you all as we kind of discuss this. Okay. This ain't for no statistics. I ain't about to tell you 1 in 5 people suffer from nothing.
Oh, no.
Go read your statistics because this ain't it. This is a very personal show that I don't even know if I'm really prepared for, honestly.
Aww.
But here we are. Damn it, I want to cry already. You already talked about all that crying.
It's okay.
I ain't even gonna do it.
It's all right though.
You start with your vow.
Okay. So one excerpt that T wanted to pull out is when I said, I adore you, T, and nothing or anyone will change the love that I have for us and our beautifully blended family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of mine was, babe, I know that this may sound crazy, but you are my Achilles heel. You help me hold everything together for me, even when my body is out of whack, right? Hit that share button.
Yeah.
Hit that share button. Y'all need to pull up on us because we is outside.
Yeah.
Your next vow was?
So on today, I want to thank you for choosing me as your wife and your life partner.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
And my final excerpt, the vows was long. We ain't gonna give y'all all of them. The vows.
Her vows were long.
Okay, my vows was long, but I like to talk, and I just wanted to make sure I stated all of my intentions on that day. Okay, so she can hold me accountable. Okay, so right, Kia's had the Lord. She had this her vows.
Scroll.
That's her scroll.
It's like, you know, cloth. I like it.
Meanwhile, I was scrolling through my phone, and I was like, and I'm almost done.
That's okay.
My last vow. I vow to work overtime on maintaining my mental health so that my sobriety, almost 7 years, baby, is maintained and my overall health continues to improve.
Yeah.
That was important for me.
Yeah.
You know, that was important for me to say because as my life partner,
yeah,
right, I don't want me to ever jeopardize what we have. By the lack of my paying attention, right, to what my body is telling me it needs or, you know, what I'm supposed to do. Right?
I was actually really shocked that you put that in there. Like, I literally did not expect that at all. I was like, okay, you're getting real deep with this. Like, you're covering all areas.
Yeah, I had
to. Yeah, I didn't expect it, but I definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
I definitely appreciated it.
Hey,
yeah.
We outside. We outside.
Yeah, for sure.
Facebook user. I love Nikki Giovanni. I got the honor to listen to her recite her poetry on one of my college tours.
Yeah.
She's dynamic.
I think I was in college when I first really started getting invested in her as well. Yeah.
She is dynamic.
But my favorite by far is Maya Angelou. I'm sorry. You know that. I'm just
shout out to Ari Spears that do a good Maya Angelou.
Don't do that. No, he doesn't.
Yes.
Oh, funky butt.
He definitely don't wash his ass.
I don't like him.
On the radio the other day, they was talking about how many times a week you wash your butt, and dermatologists say you're supposed to do it every other day or something. So
what?
Yeah, that's not.
That's not.
I bathe a couple times a day, and I use moisturizer
every other day.
Yeah.
What if you sweat when you?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
That depends on the temp. No, it should never depend on the temperature. Okay, anyway, go ahead, guys.
Not as for me at my house, we bathe daily. Sometimes
it's just like that butt deodorant. What do you need deodorant in your butt for?
But that butt deodorant go on your feet and your ass and your mouth, and you can lotion your elbows and everything.
Anyway, go ahead.
The Lumini.
Yeah,
yes, Maya Angelou as a poet is definitely number one. Yeah. Got you. So listen, folks, now's the time we're going to get into some conversation, but we want to engage and we want to hear from you. We want you to ask questions. We want you to leave comments. We want you to answer questions that is going to be directed to you as Kiya and I get into this discussion about my last episode.
Yeah.
Once again, I want to viewer discretion before we get into it real good.
Yeah.
Viewer discretion is advised. Protect your peace.
Yes.
Drama-free zone.
Yes.
Protect your peace.
Gotcha.
Got it? All right. So let's get into it, babe. So first, we wanted to ask the folks, when does the conversation about mental health usually come up in your relationship? or your friendships. So some of us know that people be a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and they just don't say shit. That's just how they are. That's just how they are. We excuse the hell out of it. That's just how they are. They got a little something going on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They 2 steps short of a full ladder.
Yeah.
You know, a little rope short on their way up to the mine bank. You know,
Yeah.
all these different things that you can say. But when does that conversation really happen, right? Is it when you're dating? Is it when you're interested in someone? Is it once you become platonic? Is it once you're engaged, once you're married? This is for y'all. We want to hear from you. Do you have these conversations with folks? Because the world is tough right now. Chances are 9.5 out of 10 people, that's my own research. 9 out of half.
It's probably pretty close.
9.5 out of 10 people suffer from a mental health crisis.
What's the half? What the hell's the half?
The half is like they kind of know, but they ain't really sure.
Okay, got you. Okay, I got
Yeah,
you.
that's that half. They ain't really
Your
sure.
half. A little something.
And so, given that information from the TPX research, when do you talk about it? If you do, right?
I mean, I think.
When do we talk about it?
Well, when we were still friends, you unloaded on me. But I feel like that unloading was not necessarily well, let me back up. It definitely depends on the individual. I believe that there are some people that you can unload during the friendship level of a relationship and then be cool with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
For me, I was like, what the hell? It definitely made me like a little bit apprehensive.
Okay.
It made me like take a couple steps back and be like, and so, wow. Well, I felt really overwhelmed. I felt like it was way, I think I even said this to you, like, wow. Like when, like literally like in like a 45-minute lunch date, T shared everything from all of her traumas, all of it. All in 45
Not
minutes.
all of it.
No,
I think you like the
you
Cliff
did
Note.
it. No, you did it fast, but you.
Oh, the Cliff Note version.
Yeah, you did it, but it was. So I'm like this. Oh wow. Oh wow. So I feel like, depending on the person, I think the first like the friendship level of it, the first like 3 months of dating, I think that's a little bit heavy to unload all at once.
I got you.
I think if you would have like just
went the fuck off and then be like,
no. I think no, because that was like our first date.
Yeah.
But I think if we would have waited until like maybe the second date and you just said,
Now hold on.
I'm just saying.
Hold on. No, I'm gonna let you like Kanye. I'm gonna let you finish.
No, go ahead.
However, for the folks that's like, well, damn, y'all just met, y'all went on the first date, then you unloaded. That ain't it. We worked together for a while. We would have conversations about work stuff in between.
Yeah.
But
not like personal.
Right. And so it wasn't like I just met her and like threw my shit on her. But let me let you finish that.
But it kind of felt like that for me.
Yeah.
Because like at work, our relationship was very professional.
Mm-hmm.
We might be like, oh, I saw you on Facebook, IG, whatever. But like, it wasn't any like, I don't think it was like any concrete, like, oh, this is my bestie, this is my homegirl. It wasn't like that. We went out because we were trying to get to know each other outside of work. And so like, for me, I think the first date is like, for me is more so like, what kind of food you like? Hey, what are you into? Oh, where do you work? What was your, that kind of stuff. And maybe by like the second and third date, maybe talk about, hey, so like, where did you grow up at? Like kind of like gradually lead to it. But like you, like the detail. Do you mind if I say one part?
Go for it.
Like she's like, and so I've been raped so many times. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, yeah, and I'm like, okay, and like I'm recovering. I'm in recovery from opioids, and I'm like, okay. So it was a bit much for me. So I would say at least from like, maybe I'm a little bit more like, I don't know how to describe myself. I'm a little bit more like prim. I don't know, like
you said prim.
I don't know if that's the right word, but like baby step me. I think baby step me.
And I respect that.
Baby step.
Because when she told me, she was like, well, wow, that was a lot. That was
I did
a lot.
say that.
And
I did say that.
Huh? Well, what you mean? Because for me, I had been so used to like people finding out different ways that I'm a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and it has caused problems.
Right.
So for me, and my last 2 marriages ended because of medical stuff involved too, right? Like the inability for them to help me cope or deal or them deal or whatever. But so for me, it was important to kind of throw it all out on the table of like,
you either rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, either she gonna stick around or she gonna flee. She gonna fight or flight, right?
It might work for some.
And I didn't intend to, though, and I think we talked about that after. I didn't intend to throw it all out. I just got nervous, and so I started rambling. And she was asking questions, and I was answering honestly, but she's like, "Well, damn, you could have lied on that part." My bad. I ain't know, because I've been trying to operate on this space of honesty and transparency.
I did not say lie. I don't think.
You was like, you could have not said that. You could have not said all of that. I said, "What, you want me to lie?" So, okay, so we got some comments. Let me get into these comments real quick. You funny as shit. You ripped the Band-Aid off. Amani say it starts with the friendship. That conversation has happened early on, soon as we friends, because real stuff, like, you don't know really what people be going through, right? So I'll ask questions when you go out with me. Like, when you drink too much, what do that look like? Do you like to fight? Do you get sleepy? Do you talk too much? You know what I'm saying? If you 420 friendly, what that look like? Do you spaz out when people stare at you? When people bump you? Like, what is your maintain? Because I need to know. I think if we're going out to fight or not.
I don't necessarily believe, like, even in a friendship, when you are in a friendship that you eventually, when you're in a friendship with the intention of getting more serious, I think some of that stuff is observation. I don't think you're like asking, like, so do you wild out?
I
observe. You just,
I'm probably, I done fucked around and found out. Observing
I'm
too
probably
much.
The most observant, like the first like 3 to 6 months of a relationship.
No, you made
I'm
me
the
court.
most.
I had
observant.
to court her, y'all. We courted.
Yeah, we were having sex because like you had enough of that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What you gonna call me a hoe?
No, I didn't say that.
I was reformed by the time I.
No, you were an adult and you liked sex and it was fine.
Sure the fuck.
I just was not doing all
Still
that.
do, but one partner.
Anyway,
my job business. Facebook member. When we talking about our past relationships and how it affects us, we talk about our triggers.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's
absolutely.
Good.
I
that's
definitely
good.
believe that that's true.
Hey, Mel, what you say? Shout out to my good sis, Mel. And my good nephew Kamal, that's down there being a grown ass man in Florida.
Yeah.
He got a grown ass man job after his grown ass man diploma from Bowie State. Korea, shout out nephew, you out there doing it. My good sis say when a ninja do something that look a little familiar. Korea, what you say? You start to ask some questions, sir. MJ say when trust is developed. Ooh.
Yeah.
How do you develop trust if you don't really know what you trust?
Yeah, I would say before trust is the disclosure and like that conversation.
I appreciate it. I never used to talk about it till y'all. Listen.
Oh, okay. Well, wow, great. I'm so glad that we encourage you to do that. Thank you.
Not you could have lied, right? She is disrespectful. So my conversation with Kiya early on about my mental health, part of it I felt like you saw, right, in that observation period, of just kind of me being a little off, a little, let's say 0 to 10. You always had energy. She listed all of my qualifications for my diagnosis, right? But she didn't just take it at face value, right? It was really a conversation of, but what is that? And me telling, but also her doing the research, right, on that diagnosis and what that looks like and how to be a support for it. And so some of her observations, some of it was me verbally telling her, all right, this is what the doctor said.
Yeah.
Right. The doctor said, I got a couple people that be up there. Sometimes they be out past curfew, but when the fuck they all home, it's a house party. Right. Or I may cry. I'm triggered by some of my trauma in certain ways. And so for me, I needed to be honest with this woman that I know is going to be my wife, because I knew she was going to be my wife before she did. Right. And so I started to court and date her in that process of grooming, if you will, myself to be her wife. and what that would look like for me as it comes to like all of the stuff that I have to deal with. So I wanted to make sure that I shared with her, right? And as new diagnosis came, she was with me. And you know, I'm like, you get a get out of jail free card because you know this might be too much. I think I tried to tell you a couple times who was dating. I was like, that might be too much.
Yeah, she definitely dumped me a couple times out of the blue, and the justification was like, I definitely am like, you would say like, I'm so fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm so fucked up. Like, I don't even want to bring this to you and your children. Like, it's too much. And yeah.
And sometimes you feel like that, you know, and my biological kid, Lonnie, look, she knew her mama was fucking born. She was born into my Cocoa for Cocoa Pop. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we manage that way, but bringing in an outside group.
Yeah.
Right. That's like bringing somebody over to your house. And you be like, excuse the mess. You know, I didn't get a chance to clean up.
Yeah.
That's about how I felt with my life. Kiya, excuse the mess. I ain't really get a chance to clean up or like the help mate that I needed to help me clean it up.
Yeah.
Tanika says, what's up, Tanika? What's up, Red?
Hi, Tanika. Hi.
I told Red on the first date I was on Zoloft and Wellbutrin. That was 15 years ago, right? Because y'all just celebrated the anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Right.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I haven't used them in years. They don't work. Right.
Okay, you need medication.
Would you say you down work? Let's just say now shit. Right. I was trying to protect you. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's about how I feel. I definitely felt like I was protecting her, but also protecting me. Right. Because I had put my heart on the line so much before, just to kind of get it back in straws, or my partner allowing me to just be crazy. And just avoiding me.
Yeah, I thought that was a little crazy. I thought that was like probably my biggest concern. And like when I said this to T, I remember she got ultra defensive because she felt like I was criticizing her village, right? But like there were some behaviors that I would see, or you know, I observed them, and you know, both. And there were some physical issues as well as there were some emotional, mental issues. Okay. And like, I would be like, so like, what's the plan? Right? Like, I'm one of those people.
And I'm like, plan for what?
I'm like, so like, how are you addressing this? And it's like, oh, they're used to me being like this. And I'm like, but you're not functional. Like, this is not, I think it would have been different if I didn't see her struggling to try to manage these symptoms, and it taking its toll on her physically, and causing like the stress would cause her to have these horrible seizures where her muscles would
ever
lock
had your
up.
whole body have a Charlie horse? Your whole body. That's what I experienced.
So like, you know, as she started talking to me about some of the medical concerns she had, I was like, and so I'm reading and I'm like, and so stress can trigger this, and stress and stress and stress. And I'm looking at her like, well, shit, lots of stress, right? And so I was a little bit perplexed about how she had all of these powerful people around her, but like, did anybody bring you to the floor and say, and so like, in order for us to continue our friendship, you're going to need to get treatment, and you're going to need to get consistent, and you're going to need to do this. And like, it was just kind of sort of like, I mean, I don't know, kind of, you know, so that wasn't good enough for me at all. And so I started asking her more about not just the mental health stuff, but like also what are your physical diagnoses? And, you know, then we took that journey, but
to, you know, a lot of folks in my village credit for years, right? They knew something was off, and I guess wasn't as approachable as I am now in my sobriety as I was in my addiction. I see. Right. And those are the things that I'm learning as I get further and further into my recovery, that as an addict, I may not have been as approachable.
Heck yeah.
Right. And I heard that even from Lonnie, right? That I wasn't always approachable. And so the village folks that did approach me, I did get to go to the hospital. I've had village members talk to me on the phone in the midst of my suicide attempt. In the midst of my suicide attempt, and talk to the hospital and explain to the hospital what they heard or overheard or whatever, right? I've had village members pull up and say it's time for you to go to rights.
Yeah.
Because it's time, something ain't right.
Yeah.
I had my village Ann and Mel showed up at my house when I was planning to take my last trip with my child to Florida, to Disney World.
Yeah.
You know, every kid wants to go to Disney World. I made a plan to take her, pay for everything, but that was going to be my last trip to her.
Yeah.
I was coming home and kill myself. And my village pulled up at my house and was like, something ain't right. We don't feel right. So I do credit, there's some vital members of my village that has definitely pulled my bootstraps and was like, sis, I know what the fuck you're talking about, but that ain't it.
Yeah.
Right. And you need to go do this and you need to go do that. But I feel like when in the midst of my addiction, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for none of that.
Yeah.
Right. I wasn't ready for or even understood the level of crisis I was in.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Because I was
that
feeding
makes
it.
sense. Yeah.
I was feeding it. You know, I was feeding the addiction day in and day out as I steadily was helping other people.
Yeah.
Heal
I think
all of that.
I think I understood the history, but just to clarify, I understood the history, right?
Yeah.
But I think my concern was like,
yes, indeed.
I'm watching you like actively in an episode, and having concerns, and I'm looking at people around you partying and being in your presence, and like it's like fucking nothing. It's almost like a roach is on the wall and they're used to it, so they just let it crawl. Meanwhile, the new person is like, oh my god,
right. Take that shit out.
You know, right? So like, and that's how I started to feel. And so like, one of your cousins, but then when I started becoming more assertive, right, when I really was like, I'm really feeling this woman, like in the midst of everything that you shared with me, like I still was captivated by you, and I still saw all of these amazing traits that you had and talents and all this stuff. And I'm like, I used to like, this is my India RE. Like you were so beautiful and so intelligent, and so unique in your approach to things. And so like I remember your cousin had literally said to me, she says, you know, thank you for being there for her. Like I think a couple of your village members came and said, like, I don't know how you got her doing this, but like, thank you, because we live so far away. We can't necessarily always get to her the way that we want to.
Hey,
so
look,
I appreciated that.
My true sisters was like, thank you.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
maybe she will listen to you, because we've been trying.
Yeah, but not all the time she wouldn't. Because she'd be like, you're probing me. This is the field you're in. Don't treat me like a client.
Period.
She'd do that. So yeah.
Period. And did.
Anyway.
And did. Anyway. Armani says, I think that's one of the biggest problems. Trying to help others heal while planning my last action or not being able to heal myself.
Yeah. Listen,
that's what we do in our hurt state, sis.
Yeah, I think it's very difficult to
the whole time I was hurting, right? Hurting.
Yeah.
Before, I've always had jobs that helped other people. I've always had a profession that helped other people.
It's a good distraction.
I would always focus on helping other people, even in the midst of my own shit. I could be laid up in the hospital. Somebody call me. I'm gonna talk them through what they're going through.
Yeah.
As I still take my pain pills.
Do you remember what I said to you about that? I remember we had a conversation until you got it, because there was times that like she was really honestly overextending herself to complete mental, emotional, and physical exhaustion. Yeah. And I would challenge her and say, and so like, what are you doing? Like, and when you are trying to help someone while you're in this state, do you understand like the risk that you're taking, the liability that you are exposing yourself to, that faulty intervention that could happen without you even knowing that you're not helping them, right? You can help them when you're at your best, right? And so you're not at your best. And this is what I do, and you know. And so I think one thing when we're talking, and I know you probably want to move on, you can put that next question if you want to. I think another thing that we definitely have to highlight when we're talking about marriage and mental health is you have to have thick skin. Yeah. Like this is not for the weak at heart. Yeah. It's not. I mean, you have to be able to really stand strong on what you see and what you know they need to be doing, even in the midst of them cursing you out, telling you that they don't need it, going off, being overly aggressive, and like, it's hard. It's not easy. I mean, not at all. It's times where I've definitely lost my cool. Yeah.
Nicole says, thank you for that.
Yeah. For sure.
Nicole says, helping others makes us feel empowered and distracts us from our own stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Nicole Falk, 904 Wellness.
Yeah.
Clinical social worker, therapist,
Yeah.
clinician,
Clinical director
for DITS.
Yeah.
Get with her if you guys need some mental health support. She really knows her shit.
Yeah.
Real stuff. So thank you for that, Nicole. Next question. This is for folks like me, right? Folks with the diagnosis. How do you prepare for or address damage, right, that was caused by your mental health episode? That goes into your statement you just said, right? Of maintaining when somebody's doing all of that, right? Yeah. Aggressive stuff. And so for people like me, this is for us to answer, right? And even if you don't have to type it, if you want to remain anonymous, I get it. But how do you prepare for, this is a thought question. How do you prepare for or address damage? Physical, emotional, spiritual, financial, or maybe just trashing houses. Like, if that's your thing, you just throw shit. I don't throw shit because I pay too much money. So I don't be breaking up our shit because we pay good money for our stuff. Yeah. But some folks do, right? And some folks that are diagnosed. So I have several mental health diagnoses, just to be transparent with you all. But today we're talking about my bipolar disorder, right? And so with that, I have caused a lot of damage. That's hard to say, but it's the truth. Excuse me. And for those damages, my wife is holding my hand, y'all. For those damages, right, I have to acknowledge that. Right. And I think it's probably different, maybe not even different, but I think my value for that repair comes from my sobriety. Right. Yes. And within my sobriety, we're supposed to make it right. Yes. Right. Side note, y'all like my new glasses?
Oh my Lord.
Okay.
They are cute. I love them.
Thank you. And so, we're supposed to make amends with those that we have hurt, injured, or caused harm to. And so when I come out of my episode, and this episode was different. Mm-hmm. I just want to say that this episode was completely different than I have ever had in my whole life, ever. It started very briefly, right? So let me story time real quick. Let me give it to y'all because y'all nosy. So I take trazodone and I take Zoloft, right? And so I supposed to probably be on some other stuff, but because of my addiction, right, to pills, to prescription pills, my doctors, myself, and my wife, right? My wife is very involved in all of my care. We had conversations. I don't like to take a lot of pills. It triggers me, right? And so I try to minimize, even when she gives me vitamins. I'm like, babe, can I get a chewy? Can I get a gummy? Because
yeah, she does do that.
Too many pills triggers me, right? And so I'm like, okay, right? So my wife got me back in treatment because I had been out for years of no medicine or minimum dosage, right? But not really being followed by a psychiatrist continuously. I'll say that. But she got me in order. So I got my medicine, So I don't know, right? Life be lifing. Life be lifing. And in the midst of the life be lifing, it was like, what am I supposed to do? What was I supposed to do, right? Because things was happening and I'm supposed to take my medicine every night. But if something happened, I forget. Because of my other neurological things, I have memory issues sometimes, right? Y'all know I'm a beat up ass disabled vet. I don't look like my struggles, thank God. Okay. And I probably just forgot, right? And so days went by and we found out months went by. And I hadn't taken my medicine. So on this particular day, we had a situation at the house. And what should have been a small situation went from here to there. And I went the fuck off. And so in the midst of that, my wife approaches me and she asks me, What you say? When's the last time you took your medicine?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I don't know.
Well, because I shook the bottle and it was empty, and I'm like, and then I look over and I'm like, and so there are none over at your bedside.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it's also important for you to mention that prior to you exploding, that weekend before was challenging because you had basically been in the same space as someone who had.
Correct. So I was triggered. I was at an event.
Yeah.
And I saw one of my childhood abusers.
Yeah.
Triggered the shit
it was
out of me.
It was
and I'm like, I thought I had healed, right?
Yeah.
When you think you done healed until you fuck around and find out that you really didn't. It made it tough.
Yeah.
It made it tough for me. And I came home with it.
Yeah.
And I sat on it. I didn't really talk about it. I just sat on it.
Yeah.
And so when everything else happened, it was this explosion. So when that explosion happened, I'm throwing out all kinds of shit. Some I remember, some I don't. Right.
Yeah.
But my wife has graciously filled me in.
I think you really was like, but you know what? I think also when you came in, it was like when you came back from seeing him.
Yeah.
I remember when you walked in the door, I just hugged you because I was thinking about it most of the time. And so like my first instinct, you know, being protective, is like, I want her to leave, but for other reasons, she needed to stay. And so when she finally got home, I just wanted to hug her and hold her and make sure she was okay. But it didn't matter how many different angles I came at her. She was, I'm fine. Oh, it's okay. I'm fine. Even though I knew she wasn't fine. So it's like by the time we got to this explosion, I was already kind of sort of like kind of starting feeling suspicious, you know, about you being consistent with your treatment, both the psychiatry appointments and the meds, because I'm like, okay, let me just pay attention. So I started actually paying more attention when you got back because I was like really afraid for you. I was really afraid.
Question for you.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back to my story.
Yeah.
What made you go check my pill bottle?
Wow. So what I recall, I'll tell you why, because I know why your psychiatrist put you on it. And so the why is like, I saw you in action. So like the why was no longer being addressed. So I was like, okay. So like T told a story to her psychiatrist real quick that like basically we were talking about symptoms and things like that to determine which medication would be appropriate for T. And so one of her thing was like, even when the kids do something even small, it shouldn't be that big deal. But I feel like even though I'm not coming after them, I feel this rage building up inside of me. And I don't like feeling like that.
I usually suppress.
Yeah, I don't like feeling like that. And so like, as you're saying that, you know, as I'm watching you, what you described to the psychiatrist, which was a justification, you know, for why she put you on your medication, I saw. So I was like, okay, so that's not how she was acting after she was on the medicine. After she was on the medicine, the beast was calm. She was patient. She was focused. And now I see total opposite. So that's what made me check your bottle.
And thank you for that. So
you weren't thanking me what I did.
I wasn't.
She was not thanking me.
So she comes and she shakes the bottle. She's like, well, when's the last time you took your medicine? Kiya, I don't know. Well, when's the last time you got a refill? I don't know. Right? Because my thing is life be lifing. And so when life be lifing, it be lifing. And I didn't intentionally stop taking my medicine. I want to say that. I didn't intentionally stop taking my medicine. I ran out. The next day I planned to call the doctor or the pharmacy to get the refill. And it just never happened. Right? It just, days kept going. So
shit happens.
Life be lifing. My wife reaches out to my psychiatrist. We're going to move on. But my wife reaches out to my psychiatrist and thank you. She tells, because y'all wouldn't have said shit. Y'all have just been watching it the whole time. Thank you, wife. You're welcome. And so she reached out to my psychiatrist. And I was a little bothered that she did. I ain't even going to hold you. But I also was in the middle of my episode, right? Yeah. But she ain't give a hell about none of that. She reached out to my psychiatrist. So she comes back and she says, T, why did you miss 2 appointments? real shit, I didn't even recognize I had missed 2 appointments. First of all. Second of all, I was like, Kiya, I don't know. Like, I didn't intentionally miss them appointments. Something probably was going on and it got pushed around and I probably forgot to reschedule. Like, life was life.
Right. Which is why you didn't have refills.
Which is why I
because
didn't have,
like when you do that, they give you enough refills to your next appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you miss the first appointment, they may give you a little grace and give you another 30 days. But then, after a while, it's like, we're not refilling this.
Yeah.
Because, their license and stuff is online. So they need to check your.
So shout out to my wife that got me back together and got my medicine. And so I just want to say real quick that that's why I kind of been silent on social media, because I've been trying to figure out who I am.
Yeah.
That's some real shit. When you be off your medicine, and this goes to Nicole's comment, right? Of take your meds as prescribed. Must. If you are on mental health medicine, speaking from my experience, make sure you don't run out of refills. I said that on my post, right?
Yeah.
Make sure that you're staying up with your dosage that you're supposed to take, because when it runs out, that crazy get the crazy in. And I forgot how crazy I really was until the fuck it showed up at my door.
I think another reason why you didn't feel the full impact is because you have a medicinal marijuana card.
Yeah.
So like you can,
but
smoke.
Even with the medicinal marijuana,
and
learn your tinctures. Learn your terpenes. Learn your terpenes and know what works for you. Because I had a strand that was very counterproductive to my mental health medicine.
Yeah, that's true.
And it took me so far down that it made me cry as I'm smoking a J.
Yeah.
I didn't like that one. Right. So learn your terpenes.
I didn't like that.
Learn what they mean so that when you go to get your stuff, if you go to the dispensary, you can know what medicine in the plant, which is the terpene, really will work for what you need it to do. So side note to that. So we also had a comment in that said, Marnie was answering question number 2. In the past, I targeted myself because I didn't know how to prepare or address my damage.
Wow. So you just blame yourself and I think that's a very normal reaction to things.
I did initially. I ain't even gonna hold you because my thing is, oh, well, I was like, oh, well, they be all right.
Yeah.
They be all right. Oh, well. And then in response to me saying that, they said, that's just how tea is. That's just tea.
Yeah.
That's just tea. And the tea that was before was not okay.
Yeah.
The actions that I did was not okay. The damage that I caused was not okay. And so for the last 7 years, right, I've been intentionally trying to repair that damage that I've caused people, that I've caused myself, right? So first I had to heal me. The repair always starts with me forgiving myself, apologizing to myself, giving myself grace.
For sure.
Right? I'm human.
Yeah.
Grace. Right? And then going to them and asking for the same grace.
Yeah.
In a humbled way. Because it's not their fault that they had an addict that was not being treated properly for mental health as a friend. Okay? So I'll say that. Last question for you, babe.
Oh, okay.
How do you, and for you, so this is for you, and I'm going to personalize it for you.
Okay.
Audience members, Team Nosey, how do you protect your children? This is for the folks like Kiya, the partners. How do you protect your children and maintain a household while your partner is experiencing a mental health crisis? We want to hear from you.
Well,
Kiya, your personalized one is how did you protect our children? How did you protect the sanctity of our home, our peace in our home, while you are still going out being an amazing social worker? You're still running DITS. You're still, focused on your victimless soldier support group.
Yeah.
You're a sister, you're a mom, you're a friend.
Yeah.
How did you manage all of that when, would you say, how many weeks I was down?
About 2.5.
About 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. First week all bed.
Locked.
The second week.
My baby put me in my own psych ward in our room, honey. I was like, I might need to go to the hospital.
After consulting with the psychiatrist.
They was like, well, she's suicidal. I ain't suicidal. I'm just depressed like shit. Yeah. But even in that, I tell my wife when I'm depressed. I tell my wife when I feel suicidal.
I'm so happy. Thank you for doing that.
Because for me, that's self-awareness, right? And what do I tell you when I tell you that? I says, I don't want to
Well, I was thinking that you say like I'm trying to hold on.
Mhm.
I'm not good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I
not
tell
good.
her, I'm
Yeah.
not okay.
Yeah.
Baby, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to die.
Yeah.
I've said that. I don't want to die.
Yeah.
But Kiya, it's hard for me to keep fighting.
Yes.
Because my mind,
Yeah.
right? My soul's like, you got to be here. You got to stand strong. But my mind is like, bitch, bye.
Yeah.
And I have to tell my wife so she can pull me back down to the carpet.
Yeah.
You know, and thank you.
Oh, of course.
Right? Because I ain't had no partner that ever did that.
Wow.
So thank you.
Wow. Okay.
So
Ooh.
yeah, how
that's
did you do
that's
that?
a very okay. Oh, okay. So funny. I knew that question was coming, but I wasn't prepared.
Yeah.
How do I maintain the house? Okay. Because I'm a dope ass bitch.
You
No,
are.
just joking.
And is.
I actually probably when I it probably goes back to, believe it or not,
Okay.
it goes back to when we used to talk about deal breakers. So way early in our relationship, we had this conversation about what are some of our deal breakers.
Yeah.
And so mental health was not one of it for me. And that's just because my background. So, obviously, growing up in foster care, if some of you are maybe don't know because you didn't follow Candid Convos, but I grew up in foster care. And prior to me going into foster care, my mom struggled with bipolar disorder. At that point, it wasn't called bipolar disorder. They called it manic depression and gave people ridiculous amounts of lithium and told them to go somewhere. And my dad, my biological dad, abused both alcohol and drugs. So he had substance use disorder really bad. And so coming from that background, like it kind of sort of normalized those kind of things for me. Not normalize it in a sense that I'm going to accept someone that's actively using, but normalize it in a sense that I realize that there are many really amazing people that struggle with different mental health comorbidities. So I think, honestly, when I say I feel like I was made for you, it just made sense to me that the universe would pair you with someone with my background. Because while T is trying to dump me like, oh, this is too much, I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? Like, my mom chased my brother when he was in like 3rd grade, like butt naked almost with purple heels on. Like, what, like it was, and so I really feel like that made me a lot more patient and a lot more understanding of the different challenges that you were experiencing. But in terms, so
we thank God for you.
Oh, thank you. So one, I have to definitely thank the universe and our ancestors for putting us together.
Yeah.
The other part is I'm very OCD, I'm a very structured person. And so it's not a lot that's going to take me from that, not even you. So I'm one of those moms that I mom very structured 24/7. And I'll try to be as open with our kids as possible. So we have 2 16-year-olds and an 8-year-old and a 25-year-old. 25-year-old is not here, but even still, anybody that's going to be impacted by T's episode and what I need to do in the house to get it ready for her to be able to actually recover, I'm bringing them in. So I literally went to each one of them separately because each one of them process differently. So the other thing is you have to know your kid. You have to be committed to keeping your house intact. You have to be committed to obtaining the skills and maintaining the skills that you need in order to maintain your house. So that means for me, there would be conversations with my friend Kiya. There would be conversations with my sisters about what I feel I need so that I can be the best version of myself here for my families in the midst of you experiencing your mental health. And so, it's almost like an equation. So there's different parts to it. So it's not like I maintain the household, no, there's these different elements that you have to have. So one, you have to have a support system and somebody that's really strong, somebody that you trust that says, okay. And then you have to have, somebody like Nicole Fogg who is like, and so are you okay? And so what are you doing for you? Those kind of things. And so you also have to know your children. You have to know your children, and you have to be committed to keeping this house and keeping this boat above water, floating. So I literally went to each kid separately because all of our children are uniquely different, right? So for Lonnie is our sensitive baby. And so like for her, she's a worrier. She's a worrier because she's also T's biological daughter. So the connection that you and Lonnie have is like something that is amazing to me. The connection that you two have is so different than, say, the connection that you and Jay have, right? And so with Lonnie, I have to take into account the years that she's seen her mom struggle with things and how that impacted her. And I have to say it in a way that doesn't worry her, that makes her understand that I'm here. And I am here for not just you, but I'm here for them, right? And so literally, go ahead.
Can I pause you for a second?
Yes, please.
I also want to uplift something that Kiya and Lonnie, one of their earlier conversations, right? I was down and Lonnie was helping take care of me, as she has done her whole life, right? Painfully, right? I want to acknowledge that has been painful for me. And her and I have talked about it, and so Kiya says, you can go ahead. I got your mom.
Yeah.
And Lonnie says, no, I'm okay. I have it. That's what I know how to do. Kiya talked to Lonnie and says, it's okay. I'm here now.
Yeah.
And I got your mom. And that made Lonnie feel so good. Right. Yeah. Because not in word, but in action.
Yeah.
Because she saw you have me, right?
Yeah.
She saw you day in. Well, she saw even then.
Yeah.
And definitely now, right? I think that it's just a powerful component to our blending, right? Of the family. And, because our kids have mental health diagnoses too.
Yeah. So
I'm not the only one in a home that has challenges. And our oldest daughter, well, yeah.
Don't do that. He is just fine.
Like I said,
he plays Spider-Man and talks to imaginary friends. Good.
And did I didn't even tell you what he did at the eyeglass place yesterday?
Please stop.
I says, Will, what the hell? You all right? He's like, oh, I'm just playing. Girl, he was doing this shit.
He's the youngest kid, guys. His siblings are 16 and he's 8. So
he's Spider-Man in the goddamn. I'm just trying to pick my glasses.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so we are the family with the red door. Yeah. And we have our challenges, right? And so I think it was very powerful for you as the bonus mom.
Yeah.
To come in and not just say, but to do.
Yeah.
Right? That I have you. Yeah. So I just wanted to say that.
Of course. And I think the other thing that was really haunting Lonnie was that your past relationship was so different, right? And so like she had been told like, oh yeah, I've got your mom.
What's up, Kat?
And like let down. And so like I understood why she was apprehensive. I understood because like it had just been you and her like just for years, even with you being married still, and so like for Lonnie, it was important that I be really clear that I've got this, that mom's okay. But then the great part is that because Lonnie's in therapy and because she's like super, super like intelligent, like I can say, oh, and so like, yeah, she was, off her meds and we're trying to get her levels back. And she totally understands it. She's like, oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know what that's like. I came off mine for a while and I totally get it. And don't worry, and so, but now see Jay, that's different. Jay is like,
that's my son, man.
Like, so like, she good though? Like, what's that mean, right?
He would come peek his head in the room.
Yeah, like
people like, hey, buddy, you okay? And then,
right? Do she need to go to the hospital? Like, like I literally had to like say minimum but like break it down like for a third grader, because like Jay was like, it was like over his head. But, you know, and then Will, you know, it's just like, you know, Mati's not feeling well. You know, if she's sleeping too much, go nudge her and ask her does she want something to drink and something.
And they did. My children definitely took care of me.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm ever so grateful. I have one biological kid, but I've had 7 angel babies, right?
Yeah.
6 miscarriages and 1 abortion. And so when my wife came with 3 bonus children, my heart opened up wide. And them my babies. And so they definitely was peeking in.
Mom.
I appreciate
You're
that.
a great mom.
They definitely peeked in on me to make sure I was eating, even when I wasn't hungry.
Yeah.
And making sure I had beverage, right? My ginger ale or my water, so that I can just stay out of everybody's way while we waited for the medicine to get back in my system. And today, honestly, is probably the 3rd day that I really felt like myself.
Yeah.
And so for that, I'm ever thankful, because I think my levels are finally reaching back to where they're supposed to be in my system, because for a while I didn't know what TPX honestly was going to look like.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting because my wife told me to. My wife told me be patient and give myself grace. My wife told me to take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
And to not force myself.
Yeah.
Right.
I think, and I think the thing is, it's like, well, before I forget, the last thing that definitely helped me maintain the house is like having my eyes and ears when I had to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
So when I had to leave, you know, to go to work, it was, you know, it was a plan that in place. She wasn't aware of the plan because, you know, I didn't want her to feel like she was a burden more than what she already felt.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I really did a lot of stuff behind the scenes, like, you know, making sure that, you know, my sister could get into the house, who lives like 5 minutes from me, making sure that my sister knew that like, hey, we're going through some challenges right now. And so like, if the kids call you, like, I need you to come right away.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to my sister, Aisha. She is like an amazing support, like with Dits and with like, she adores you, by the way.
Love you.
And so, you know, having those things in place and also giving the kids like little things that I want them to look out for.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, and so I gave them those things and I had like an emergency plan, and that made me feel like I could focus at work. And of course, checking on you periodically while I was at work. So all those things helped me get you to that point. But I think the challenge for you, and maybe you can speak on it, you were in this like constant internal battle to like get back.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get back. I gotta get back. I gotta get back. And I'm just curious about where that came from. Like what and what was that like, fighting to like get back? Like,
damn. You nosy?
I am.
Oh man.
And I know we're going a little bit over time. So
I slated for an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
So if you need to leave, we appreciate
you. Yeah, thank you for joining us. If you need to leave, and definitely
Thank
make
you.
sure you share and watch the replay.
Yes, we appreciate you tuning in. But I didn't want to rush the conversation.
No, I don't think
so.
it should
I
be.
appreciate you that tuned in. If you have to leave, we definitely thank you. But y'all been holding strong. We see y'all nosy ass
thank
numbers.
you guys so much.
Y'all been holding strong.
It means a lot.
And we're wrapping
Thank
up.
you.
But this is a conversation that we felt was necessary. And so I don't want time to be of essence as we're talking about something so serious and personal. Right. Wow. Good question, Kiya. I felt lost.
Wow.
Right. I felt like once I realized it was the medicine, right? Like my medicine wasn't in my system anymore. So I'm like starting over from scratch. So like my crazy was crazy. And in that, I kept on saying, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think even like our nighttime conversations, I'd be like, Kiya, I don't feel like myself.
Yeah, I'm taking too long to post. I'm taking too long to text. I'm taking too long to do things that typically I can do really fast.
Because my business is built for social media.
Yeah.
Right. That's where I get my posts. That's where I get my hosting gigs, and my other gigs is from social media. Right.
Yeah.
Well, mostly word of mouth. Shout out to the Nosies that keep referencing.
Yes, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much.
It's greatly
for
appreciated.
supporting TPX and supporting us.
And my platform is built on transparency. You guys know that. And so I appreciate you guys just rocking with me outside of filters and all that other shit, because I ain't even got time for it. But my business is built around social media, and I really prided myself on, like, being able to bang out posts real quick. I know what content I want to say.
Yeah.
I can picture, what picture I want. I know how to get a reel cut together real quick. And so that's kind of what my personal niche was.
Yeah.
Right. And so when I'm sitting here and I'm like, I'm down.
Yeah.
Like real down to the point, thank you, where I don't even know who I am.
Yeah.
I'm not recognizing who I am. But I have a resemblance, right? I used to say, but I feel like I kind of know who I used to be.
Yeah.
And I kind of thank you, because my wife knows Lent kills me. I will watch the replay and go crazy. Thank you. She be loving me. I love the way you love me. Thank you. But I was like, I have to post, Kiya. I can't go radio silent.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I'm also responsible and under contract for a nonprofit. I run their social media because I'm a brand strategist. If you need some help, let me know. And I'm like, but I have to do that, right? Because I'm under contract. And so I will push myself to post, because that's my contract. That's my job, even though I'm running my own business. But I can't let that fall to the side.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let me have conversations with them, because they know T.
Yeah.
And let them know kind of what's going on. And shout out to them. Heart to Hand Inc. I love y'all so much.
They're amazing.
I love y'all so much. But for me, it was that internal pressure that I was putting on myself. Like, I gotta post because somebody might want to host. I gotta post because somebody might want some curriculum. Somebody might want to do this, right? And so, like, all of these different things I was pushing on myself, and I would get frustrated.
Yeah.
Right? Because my levels ain't there yet.
Yeah.
So I'm still kind of
no patience.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, fuck. Everything was that.
Yeah.
Everything was that.
Yeah.
And Kiya had to say, babe, she touched me calmly. She says, put your phone down. Breathe. There's no pressure.
Yeah.
Right? It will be there. Take your time.
Yeah.
I've never had nobody in my relationship
that
I was in a relationship with tell me to take my time. Because for me, I've always had to worry about me and my child.
Yeah.
Me and my child. And so I've always pushed beyond measure, beyond capability, which would end me in a hospital or just not able to walk or move or anything the day after. And I was trying to do that internally. But because my wife observes me, she recognized that I was still trying to do too much. She gave me permission to take my time, to give myself grace. All of the things I tell y'all, she told me back. This shit sound different.
Yeah.
When somebody else telling you what you say.
Yeah.
Okay. But I had to breathe. And I just say, you're right. I don't know if I was like, I don't know if I want to host anymore. I don't even know if I want to even have a TPS.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring it up. I think one of the scary parts for you was that you didn't feel like you would have this vibrant energy that you really pride yourself on, which is really like
not the post queen.
Oh yeah,
I tried.
See that?
I'm coming back.
She definitely is.
I'm coming back.
I think Kenyatta might have you beat.
Oh, Kenyatta.
So that's a post queen for sure. She's definitely the stays on it. But I think one of the other things, and it's crazy, I had to really dig deep into some of the pointers. We love you guys back. And thank you so much for being here. Again, thank you so much. While we're discussing, if you're just joining us, we're talking about mental health and marriage.
Yeah.
And even in this conversation, I think it's good for individuals who are engaged, as well as individuals that are already married. But I think as I'm reflecting, I'm thinking about, this fear that you had. T had this fear where she just was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get back to this vibrant, energetic T that is the essence of what your brand is, created on, right? So you are the vibe influencer, right? And so, I am a little bit older than T. And so, enough.
4 years ain't that much.
That's enough. Trust me, it's enough.
I like them older and seasoned.
But you know, one of the you're so crazy. One of the things I remember sharing with you, and I had to reiterate this to T, is that as you're getting older and things are happening to you, even if it's the same thing that's happening to you, it's still happening to you at a different stage in your life.
Yeah.
And so the impact and the message that you take from that is different than maybe when you were 30 and it happened, and maybe when you were 30, 40 and it happened. And so what I had to try to get her to see is that different is not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
That as you start to evolve into the more mature version of TPX, that may not be, it may not be booty popping, jumping, and twerking. It may very much be, hey, I might do a little pop, right? I might do a pop, but guess what? After I pop, I want to now do curriculums. So, it's allowing her the space to be free and to be open and to accept the new version of her is something that's not an imposter. Because that's how you were treating it. It was like, no, that's not her. That's not
I
her.
didn't recognize myself, y'all.
Um,
Like this smile and stuff you see, I didn't have. I didn't have this.
And it's hard. Freak.
I didn't have this. And when I looked in the mirror, I didn't recognize myself, and I would cry.
Yeah.
And I would get angry.
Yes.
And I would go to like, oh, I really want to laugh, right? At somebody's crazy ass post. Shout out to Peaches, because she keeps me running. That's my day one.
We love you, Peaches. She's amazing.
And so usually I can look at her stuff and like, it takes me to this chuckle world, right? But I would see it and like nothing. But they say flat effect, right? I had a flat effect while I was waiting for my levels to get back to where they were. And in that process, my body was doing something I didn't recognize.
Yeah. And that's frightening.
My brain was doing stuff I didn't recognize. It was
scary.
I was shaking for no reason. Internally, externally, my head was doing stuff. I was hearing stuff, seeing stuff. It was in my rage and my anger. Everything that was the treated now was fucking playground central.
Yeah.
All the folks that they all woke up, came outside.
Yeah.
They all was out in the yard playing, all the Noseys.
Yeah.
They came out and was playing in the yard and caused a lot of commotion.
Yeah.
But I want to say I'm still thankful for my levels of healing that I had prior to that episode. Years of anger management, right? That still allowed me to stop myself and to have restraint still in the midst of my episode, because my brain told me, fuck all this shit up. Fuck it all up. My soul says, that's not who you are.
Your mouth said it too, though.
My mouth said it.
Yeah, you didn't physically do it, but like,
oh
yeah, she was literally like, and so like, I'm not fitting to be in this marriage.
Oh yeah, I said I was rolling out.
Yeah, she said. I said,
oh. I've read the messages back.
Yeah, I said, oh, okay. Well, but this is what I said to her. Whoever you end up with and wherever you end up, make sure you maintain your mental health. Make sure that you take care of yourself.
Right.
Because one thing that I learned is that I can't confront delusion. No, one thing that I... Oh, yeah. Right.
Shout out to Chris, man, recovering over there with her fucked up ass swim foot. Hope you feel better.
Feel better. And congratulations, because her and Cece, they're engaged. That was an amazing engagement.
We're honored to have been a part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Get better, because I'm gonna call you afterwards, though.
It was beautiful. But I think that
I appreciate that.
I think for you, I saw the fear, and there were different, and if you could share with them, there were different things that T and I would use to ease her fear and to soothe her. There was a lot of things we had to do environmentally to make sure that like she felt safe and she felt like she could recover in this space. And so we did a lot of aromatherapy, definitely touch therapy. So like, nice massages, dim lights,
Mhm.
making her turn the television off,
Mhm.
making her just kind of completely shut down and just enjoy breathing and peace.
Yeah.
That's something that we did.
And my babe gave me a
Yeah.
bath.
I did.
She
I
ran
sure
me
did.
a bath.
I forgot about that. I did.
And sat with me while I was in the tub.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel alone.
Yeah.
She massaged me
Yeah.
when I got out to moisturize me because we bathe more than 4 times a week.
Will you
over here.
stop?
Because they tell my baby more than that dries your skin out. She moisturized me after I used my moisturizing bath soap.
Yeah.
But that soothed me. The atmosphere was right. She had the right music on. She had the room set up smelling good. The candles was lit. It very much calmed me after my THC/CBD bath soak, bubble bath. And so as a partner, in closing, right, as a partner with mental disorder, I challenge you to be honest with your partner. It don't have to be up front. It don't have to be whenever. It has to be at the right time. I'll say that. But be honest. Be transparent. Don't trick bait somebody into a relationship with you, and then your crazy get the crazy in, and then you looking at them like they crazy because the fuck you acting crazy. Did you get that? Take your medication.
Yeah, Nicole said that really well.
Take your medication.
That is so.
My wife hands me my pills now because we acknowledge that I forget. Not intentional, but I forget. Neurological, medical, right? Because she knows about that. So she say, "Med call. Take your medicine." I'm like, "All right, I'm coming." She be like, "No, it's time to come now." She aggressive as shit, but I love it. And I go upstairs like a kid and I take my pill and she watches me swallow it so that we don't have to go through this type of episode because this was unacceptable. This was due to me not doing what I'm supposed to do for me and putting other stuff first, right? So folks that are in these relationships, be transparent with your partner. Let them know what your triggers are, those that you know. Let them know what they can do to help support you through that so that you're not doing danger to yourself and those around you.
Yeah. I think the other part I want to add is that if you are with someone and you know that they are on medication, you know that they're on psychotropics, make sure you know the names of the medications. Make sure you know the dosage.
Yeah.
Make sure you know who your partner's primary is, who their therapist is, who their psychiatrist is. Make sure you have their insurance information handy, just in case you need to reference that. Hell, make sure you make sure you even know the pharmacy that they use. Yeah. Don't detach because it's very easy to do. Yeah. Like we're saying this now, but I promise you, it's very challenging. It's very challenging being in a marriage where you have mental health concerns. It's challenging, but it's not impossible. Yeah. And so if you love, your other half as much as I love T, if you are committed just as much as T and I are committed to not just our family, because another thing that brings T back is her commitment to our family. Yeah. Like that right there is always going to be undeniable. There is absolutely, T would rather sacrifice herself before she allow herself to hurt these kids. Yeah. And so when she says to me, like, I'm fighting and I need help, I get it. Like, I get it. Mm-hmm. And last thing, please don't not believe them. Yeah. Please don't. This is the wrong time to be like, oh, they just doing that for attention.
Nobody wants this kind of attention.
I've heard wives and husbands say, so everybody depressed, everybody got a syndrome, they got a syndrome for everything. That's not the time or place for that. Like, even if you're wrong, even if you're right, you can't afford to be wrong. Yeah. So it's worth you investigating further. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's it.
Great. Yeah. We had some comments. I want to uplift a few of them and then we're going to get up out of here. So Let me start back further. So we have someone says support comes in all forms, and I love that y'all spoke on that.
Oh,
thank you for that.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Armani says, woo, glad you brought up honesty with your partner. Just talk to MJ about this, and I have a wall of fear up.
Oh.
And it happens, right? Trauma allows walls to be put up.
Yeah.
Right?
That's real.
Trauma builds walls more than Trump.
Yeah.
So make sure you address them, though.
Yeah.
Because that wall, as Erykah Badu so greatly spoke in her Bag Lady song, that baggage can stop you from moving forward. I know from myself, I've had to heal on so many different levels about so much trauma.
Yeah.
And I'm still healing.
Yeah.
Right? And y'all see me healing continuously.
Yeah.
But it has to happen, sis.
Yeah, I agree.
This must be my new bald head niece. Hey, niece.
Oh, geez.
Chris says we all need that. Having a partner like that caters to your needs is attentive to them is a blessing.
Oh,
correct.
Thank you, Chris.
This here is a reminder we should always count our blessings.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This must be one of the boom boom rooms. Aggressive. No, she not sweet unless her kitchen not clean. From when you put that little book.
Oh yeah, when the kids wouldn't do their chores, I had to put signs up in the kitchen and
Kiya blocked
it. Yeah, it was
off limits.
It worked.
Being observant is so important because you will begin to identify those triggers and what may be able to aid them.
Yes,
that's so important. You want to speak on it real quick?
No, I think it's self-explanatory.
Very important.
Please pay attention. Don't ignore you.
Because
don't ignore.
I may not know all my triggers, but my wife will observe them and say, "Babe, you all right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good." Why? You sure? And I'm like, "You know what? I don't know. Something going on, but I ain't even really sure what it is." Or I tell her, "Kiya, I don't know." Or I'll start to cry. I'll say that. I'll start to cry. She's like, "Well, what's wrong? Why are you crying?" I don't know.
Yeah.
My answer, because I'm not going to think about it. My answer is, I don't know. I just feel like I have to.
No, that's real. I mean, but that's real. I mean, but, and with regards to triggers, I think something that is also really important, and I was telling Kenyatta this when we went to our house one day.
Right.
I said, I love, I remember I had shared with Kenyatta that I love that she's making her home her own personal oasis. You really, listen, I don't care if you live in a shoebox. My grandma said to me, I don't care if you live in a shoebox. Make it the best damn shoebox ever.
Yeah.
When you come out from the polluted haze, polluted stuff coming from Canada, inflation, when you come out of all of
rude ass people,
when you come out of the mess that is the world, you have to make sure that you and your partner, when you're home, that it's a place of safe peace and recovery. Right? It should not be in complete disarray unless that calms you for some reason.
Yeah.
Unless it's your organized chaos. But so one way that I make sure that T is not triggered is that I make sure that our home is at a certain point, is at a certain level. I know things that are going to irritate her. And so if you know those things, address those and make your home the safe oasis that it needs to be so that you feel like, hey, I can woosah here.
And I love it because in my field, right, I interact with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I'm also empath, which means I collect a lot from people.
Yeah.
And it usually drains me completely out because I give it my all when I'm hosting. Y'all know the vibe influencer coming to shake shit up.
Yeah. See, we're opposite.
The vibe influencer is back. Let me just go ahead and say that. I'm back. I'm day 3 back, but I'm back.
We balance each other.
Absolutely.
Because I'm not an empath. Whatever happened, whatever.
She's like, oh, well,
I'm over it and done.
And I'm like, but babe, I'm still feeling.
I'm like, what?
Let that shit go. Look, listen, man, we appreciate y'all.
What the hell are you crying for?
We appreciate y'all rocking out.
3 weeks ago. What the hell?
Because it still be on me.
I'll be like, girl, vibe, you don't take this sip of wine. Yeah.
We appreciate y'all, man. We back. Listen, the halls was here. The halls was here. We appreciate y'all tuning in for Time to Be Nosey.
And T's doing great. And on point.
I'm hanging in there. Each day is a new day. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me. For those that sent me messages when I was out just to ask me where the fuck I'm at.
Yes.
That was y'all checking in on me, and I appreciate you. For those that I shared my struggles with in the midst of mine, I appreciate you hearing me vent. I appreciate you checking with my wife to make sure I was okay. I appreciate y'all. I value my wife. I value my family. I value my village. And I value y'all nosy asses each and every day. Get at me. Peace, love, and hair grease. We value y'all. We love y'all. One last comment before we get out of here. Somebody said the dedication and support that you two give and have given is amazing. I love listening and learning from you two. Peace and blessings always.
Oh, wow.
We don't do
Thank
this
you
for the
so
show. We don't do this for the likes. We do this because this is real fucking life, and somebody needs to hear it real raw and uncut.
Yeah.
Candidly.
Yeah.
We
reach
might
out.
be back.
Reach out if you guys have other questions that you didn't want to ask here while we're live.
Thank you, Quick.
Definitely reach out to us. We are very responsive. So yeah.
Hey, listen.
We share.
I gotta go. It's almost bedtime. 9 o'clock. So I gotta get up out of here so I can go get freshened up and cuddle with my wife. What's dinner time? Peace, love, and hair grease. I'll catch y'all guys on the gram.